Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Hack with CW community, I welcome you all to this fifth day of Words of Wisdom series, and this will continue till 17th. So today's speaker is Priyal Jain ma'am, and today's topic is Introduction to Angular and Ng modules. So little introduction about our speaker. So she is currently working in an organization BUYOGO, and she is also the co-organizer of GDC Cloud Indore Group. She is also an ambassador of Women Tech Marks Indore. So very welcome you, ma'am, for this session, and over to you.
Thank you so much, team. So yeah, let's start with the quick introduction about myself. Hello everyone. Here, I Priyal Jain, and I am a front-end developer at BUYOGO, having a 1+ years of experience in IT industry. Also, I am a WDM ambassador and co-organizer at GDG Cloud Indore. Let's start with the session is all about introduction to Angular and NgModules. So why Angular come into the picture? Why Angular is so popular? What is all about Angular? That we will all learn here. So yeah, let me share my screen first. One second. Yeah. So Angular is a platform and framework. So what is framework? What is a platform? Framework is all about that that combine all the web technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, that all combine together, that which is called one framework, that bind together all the web technologies into the one stream for building a single page client application. Single page client application is something related with this, like Angulars run with all the coded access to one single page only, like HTML and CSS, JavaScript, all the all this libraries, all the web applications that come up into one single page. It is first developed by Google, and also it was written in TypeScript. TypeScript was mainly a superset of JavaScript, as we heard about the JavaScript, like which we which were used in a DOM manipulation to manipulate our HTML and CSS to to make our web pages more interactive. So similarly, Angular was written in a TypeScript, which makes a user code more easier to understand. Like before compiler, before we compile the application, so we came to know about the errors, what errors are come into the console, then we correct it. That makes the TypeScript code is much easier, right? So the process is all about the TypeScript was compiled into the JavaScript, then after that we HTML DOM into the tender. So why we use Angular, why Angular has become more popular in nowadays, why every IT company uses Angular to build one single page application. If we talk about the Angular application, like before Angular we are having like HTML a separate file, CSS having a separate file, JavaScript. So we have to write each and every code in different files, and we have to club them together, and we have to run the application. They make the time very consume. So Angular saves our time. It combines all the web technologies into one single format, and then it will run into one single page client. That makes the performance more faster, and it becomes a scalable architecture too. So here is all about what is Angular. But if we want that how to install Angular, how we can drive the application Angular into our system. So here are the basic steps, something like this. Like what are the tools and technologies we need to run into the Angular. Like we need one text editor, we need one node npm, we need one package library, because Angular provides the library. Angular creates a bundle and installs all the dependencies into one package.json file, then run the application. Angular CLI. Angular having its own command line interface, which makes the user more interactive and make the code more easier. TypeScript. TypeScript is same as JavaScript. we have to only the difference is all about the syntax and the declaration. JavaScript is more about the DOM manipulation, but in TypeScript we have to write it over cone logic to get the data, and after that it compiles into the JavaScript and it shows the browser. So here in a text editor, I prefer that if you use Visual Studio, that would be more great because it provides the more extensions to uh, create a code more easier and prettier. Like we have to indent the code, we have to indent each and every line, so it becomes more easier for us to code there. So if it's your choice, then you can use any of your code editor there. So let's start with the first step is you have to download. If you don't have any text editor like Sublime, Notepad, Visual Code, Atom, WebStorm, so you can use any of the code editor there. Then after that, you have to install the Node modules, Node packages. Why Node packages is being used? Because we have to drive all the packages. Like we have to install all the libraries and all the dependencies. So here we use Node.js. Node.js having a different version as well. I prefer to use the latest version because in Angular there are something that pretends like there changes something the version. If you use the old version of Node.js, but your Angular is currently the latest version. Yeah, is a talk about the Angular version. Like previously, Angular implemented the first version is Angular.js, and after that Angular 2, Angular 3. Then today's Angular 11 is here. So there are enhancement and changes also comes up. So I prefer to use only the latest version, as we have all the latest and updated features as there. After that, I install the Node and and use the text editor. Then I have to install the Angular. I have why I have to install Angular because I have to write and drive all the command in Angular CLI. If I am installing then npm install Angular CLI, then after that, if I have to create a component, if I have to create a service, and I have to run the Angular applications, then Angular provides all the features there into the Angular CLI. So we have to write. If we don't have the TypeScript, we can use also the npm install -g. -g is used for the global command. If we don't write -g, when we have to install all the packages one by one. Then npm install -g at the rate Angular CLI. We have to install all the Angular dependencies by using the npm install. Like as I send the screenshot here, then I wrote npm I -g at the rate Angular CLI. This will not take more than the 10 minutes. Then after that, as we discussed earlier, like about the versions of Angular and Node.js, we have to always check what version we are using in Node.js, what version we are using in Angular CLI, because the developer always need to know about the version, because there are some things that if your Node is all old version and Angular is the updated latest version, so this creates some errors into the command line and we have to debug and it waste our time. So we have to always check before creating the project. Then after now we have to create the project in Angular. So what are the commands to creating the project? Angular provides the new Angular app command to creating a project, but this is not necessary that we have to write new Angular app. If you want to create your custom project in Angular, then you can. Only you have to create the folder structure and package.json file and Angular JSON. Then after that, you become easily create your own project. But I suggest you to type the command new Angular app because it creates all the dependencies to the Angular as well. So here I create the new project and your project name. Then here my project is created, Angular app. So here I can see the folder structure has become very big. Only I have only 4 files, but there are so many files like index.html. Basically, a code is getting started from the root file, like is a single page application. So it started with the index.html file, then the style.css, scss is a superset of css, like it also compiles to the css and minified version and then shows to the browser. Then angular json, packet json, and so on. So here's the app component file. So if we want to run the Angular application, we have to write the command ngserve to run the application. But before running the application, the first thing which Angular compile itself is app.component.ts or app module, because app.component.ts will app component firstly run, and then after that other pages will load. So here is our default Angular page. I didn't write any of the thing. Why? Also, I only wrote ngnew and after that ngSub. If we don't want any of the things which pre-written there, we uh, we always remove this thing, and we wrote our own code as well. So yeah, components. Angular is totally based upon the components there. Components includes HTML, CSS, TypeScript file, which combine all of them together. Like as we talk about components, like as you saw the web pages like header, footer, sidebar, menu bar. So Angular, we with the help of Angular, we can divide all such things into the components, and we can reuse it in each and every page. But without Angular, we always have to write the header code in each and every file, like about, home, about us. That that time is very waste there. So this saves our time as well. So yeah, for creating the components, we can uh, we can write NgGC. G stands for the generate, and C stands for the component. And we write home, NgGC header, NgGC footer. So these three component I have created, and here it is. For creating the component gives my three file like HTML, CSS, and the TypeScript. These three files are very important because in component we have to write our HTML code there, which shows to the browser. CSS, how our code would look like we have to change the color code, hex code, background color. All the designing part are moved down into the CSS part, and the one TypeScript file. But TypeScript file which provide me like the code which we have to write in the JSON form, like we have to manipulate the data, we have to operate the two, we have to operations, we have to map the data, we have to insert the data into array. All such operations that come into the TypeScript code. So here it works. After ngSub creating this component and after injecting that, how home header and footer come into the single page. So by using this thing, selector, app home, selector is used for the predefined directive. Like at the rate component is a decorator which provides the three fields like selector, template URLs, and style URL. Selector we can use it any of the other HTML page as well. Like we have to if I want to use my home page code in some other component as well, so I can use this selector code there, app home, and after that I can inject in any of my component. Then I use can template URL, and I can also use the style URLs as well. So here I can show you the demo as well, like how I create my component. One second. Yeah. So here I created the same structure as I did. My home, header, footer. There are three files. which I have to manipulate. But I want that these three files that came into one single page application. So what I can do in the app component page, I wrote app home HTML, app header, app footer. These three consist into one single page. That is why Angular is called single page application. We can reuse any of the component into any of the HTML page. This is a very specialty of the Angular. As you can see, there are other files as well, like environment file, environment prod.ts for production. We have a first index.html. So what Angular did basically, if I wrote ngserve, then after that the app root component is called. How we find that app root component is called there? So here I find inside the routing pages, we can see that the ng model, which we can discuss later about it, routes, import, export, and the app root is a selector here itself. So we can use the app root. App root is injected in index.html. Then whole the application root component is come into one single page. And after, if I want then in app root, in app, if I go to the app root, then I inserted all the three selectors, all three different components then come into one single page. So this makes our code this more cleaner and more efficient way, right? So if I don't want that footer in my code. So I can comment out as well, and then I save it. And if I go to my browser, so here it is. I hide my footer code there and only home and header work as well. So how easy it can be. So now let's move on to the ng modules. Ng module is very if important in Angular because it defines that if I create a component, then I have to declare the component in somewhere, right? So I have to import, I have to declare the component. Suppose I have created app component and login component. So I have to write the definitions there. Like I have created app component, login component, import. Import is very important. Like I imported browser model. That all the features of browser module libraries, it will come under this. Then providers, then exports. If we want to export the library into another package, then we can use export. So how this module works to interaction between the declaration, import, and export pages as well. So yeah, here we do ng at the rate, ng module declaration is starting with at the rate ng module, and it is called at the rate is called as a decorator in Angular. So always remember the things. Then after it, import provider is very need, because if we want to provide some other model, we can write the code there. Then ng model, yeah, that is completely okay. Then I'll show you my code there. Yeah. So here is my ng model. I have created the home, header, footer, and app component also created. So whatever the components you have created, that need to be declared anyhow. Then after that, you have to import the files also there, like app routing file. You have to import the routing files, like which routes you have to belong to, which path you have across it. So you always have to import the files. Then the providers, what are the providers, what are the modules. So this is very helpful. So yeah, So that is all about my session about the Angular is. So you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn, on my Twitter, or my GitHub profile as well. Like, I have created this whole repository and pushed my code into my repo. You can fork and create your own components as well. I hope you all can understand how to install the Angular and how to run the Angular applications. What are NgModules? What are imports, exports, declarations? So this will become very helpful. So thank you, thank you, team.
So very very thankful to you to give us some knowledge about Angular and NG modules. This will help the students a lot. So, uh, guys, we will share the link of quiz in the chat box. So just attend that quiz. After that, only you will receive the certificate. And that link is also available in the description section. So thank you very much.
If you have any doubts regarding the Angular or any questions regarding the modules, then you can reach out to me on Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub as well.
Yeah, or else you want to ask any question now, then you can type it in the chat box.
Yes, I will provide you the I will provide you my GitHub link as well. Code Warriors team, I have a demo uh, link as well. Can you give them? That would be
Yeah,
more
yeah,
great.
yeah. Just share in the comment.
Yes, you can paste it on the comment link as well. So students can fork this repo and create their own components as well. And also, I can provide you my PPT as well.
So there is one question. Yeah, ma'am. Can you see the question?
One second. Yeah, what affect Angular given web page? Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, as we talk about the performance perspective, like is all the components run into the single page applications. Like this make the user more interactive. Yeah, we have to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for writing into Angular because Angular provides HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Without having HTML, CSS, JavaScript knowledge, we can't create an Angular application. And Angular effect is very much needed because without the Angular we have a single pages file like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But with the help of Angular, this includes all the package dependencies, all the libraries Angular injected, and Angular binds all HTML, CSS, and JavaScript into one single page application. That is why we can use. Yes, Aditya, you have to learn the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript first. It is very neat and helpful. You can run the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript by the W3 schools and by site point, tutorials point, any of the tutorial link. Which is better, Angular or React? Angular is better because yeah, React is also better, but React is somehow the only the difference between the Angular and React is the performance issue. Like though both are the intelligent, both are having the same performance level as well. But React is somehow the hybrid based application as we talk about, but Angular is a single page, which makes the code more cleaner and faster. React is also the same, but their approaches, their need are very different according to their use cases. Angular needs where we have to write only single page application, but React need when we have to use the props, components, we have to use the states. Then when we have to use the React, then React is used when we have a large scale of application. But in that case, Angular is failed somehow. Angular is used for the single page application, but Angular is not manage the data into the one single big large application. So only difference between that is. Hope am I clear to all the questions there? Thank you all for asking the questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. So, students, feedback form is compulsory to all to fill up, and after that, attend the quiz to get the certificate. So, that's all about this session. Thank you very much.
Yeah, one more link you can give to the students as well, like angular.io. Angular.io is a website that you can learn the Angular. Let me share my screen and tell you first. Yeah. Please note this link because it tells all how you can start the Angular, how you can set up, how you can locally set up to the Angular. This tell all such steps. When you have to learn the Angular, you have to main the concept. This tell all the components, life cycle hooks, directives, dependency injections, built-in features, distill all such features into it. So this link is very essential. This link is very useful for all who are very beginner into the Angular. So if you learn this Angular into this site, so your concept will get more clear to the Angular. So that's all about it.
Okay, so thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So, fill the feedback form. Thank you.